So today I'm talking about catching yourself. Now, what do I mean about catching yourself? I mean that if you want to change, then you have to get a greater understanding about what is really happening. You see, if you could consciously let go of your issue, wouldn't you just let it go? Now, of course you would. You would click your fingers and you would let go of your issue, no problems, just like that. But if you cannot change, it must mean your unconscious mind is running the issue. So by catching yourself, I mean you need to catch yourself when you're having or experiencing the issue so that you know what are your triggers, what is actually happening on the inside. You see, when I used to blush, it was an automatic process. I'd be in front of someone asked me a question, and suddenly I'd start to blush or get self-conscious. It was an unconscious process. So if I'm going to let go of the issue, I need to be able to understand exactly what is happening in my system. I need to know what is really happening. What is the trigger? What is the feeling or the thoughts, the beliefs that I'm having in that moment? You see, if it is anxiety, for example, anxiety in my world is a signal to focus on what you want, because anxiety is focusing on all the things you don't want. So when you become conscious that you're anxious, it's your time to decide to focus on what is that you really want in life. So if you're focused on, I don't want this to happen, focus on what you do want to happen. Now, of course, it won't instantly change straight away, but in time, things will change. The more you become conscious of not why you are like you are. It's not about why. I mean, it's not about, because my father, my mother, my brother, my sister, my boss, my siblings, my work colleagues, my teacher, they made me this way. Because of that past partner, that past boyfriend, girlfriend, they made me this way. It's not about why you are like you are. It is about what you are doing, how you're doing what you're doing. You see, you might say, well, Joseph, I am depressed, or I am anxious, I am phobic. That is not who you are. That is just a behavior. You have to realize, not just understand, but realize you are not your behavior. That is not who you are. That is something that you've picked up. Now, I will go out there just right now and go, depression, anxiety, fear, phobia, it is a behavior. It is not who you are. It is not your identity. You haven't always had that. When you came out of the womb, you probably weren't depressed. You weren't anxious or phobic. Something happened along the way which caused you to go down that route, which then creates a habit. That habit becomes second nature, and that feels like who you are, but that is not who you are. It is a behavior and a strategy, more importantly, that you have picked up. So you have to understand and realize that this is just a strategy. That when this happens externally, my unconscious mind reacts in this way. And now it could react in a negative thought, it could be reacting in a negative belief, it could be reacting in an emotion, it could be reacting in a behavior or like a physical response, like anxiety, fear, panic, OCD, eating disorders, you name it. It's a reaction to something. Now, if you figure out what that trigger is that you are reacting to, you can understand more of the deeper process, the thoughts, the feelings, the behaviors. The more you understand about that, that is the how you're doing what you're doing. Not the why, but the how. Now, you need to change by the how. The why does not get you anywhere. The only why which is ever good is why you want to change, because that builds motivation. But that is about the future and the present. The why of the past, of why I am like I am, is just a reason, it's an excuse, and we're not, if you're like a follower of mine, if you're like a fan of me, if you like what I'm saying, doing what I'm doing, then you'll realize your reasons, your excuses, those past whys will never get you anywhere. They will just validate your present situation. They will give you permission to keep on experiencing the same old thing over and over again until you make that decision. I am willing to change and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Those past whys are not good. The good whys are, the value, the motivation of this is why I want to change, Joseph, because I want to be rich, or I want to have amazing relationships, I want emotional freedom, I want confidence, I want happiness. Those are the good whys. The other ones, just let them go. That is not who you are. You do not have to be dictated by your past. That is just what happened, right? And just going back there, regressing even, and just like reliving and placing blame or having reasons does not get you anywhere. They are illusionary excuses which we do not have to buy into anymore. Now, if you're with me, you'll buy into what is right now. How you're doing what you're doing. The more you understand the how, the more you're able to dictate how you work. As I said, these are just strategies. Everything that you do in life is simply, and I say simply for a reason, they can be very complex in how much is ingrained or how it works. But in reality, you are simply running strategies. You run a strategy of waking up, you have a buying strategy, you have a love strategy, you have a strategy of getting changed in the morning, you have a strategy of making your cup of tea and your cup of coffee, you have a strategy of everything that you do. And just like those things, the issues that we experience are just strategies. So I'm trying to give you my honest truth here. I know that you may be experiencing some crazy big issues right now in your life, from depression, anxiety, fears, phobias, low self-esteem, all those things. So I'm not downplaying what you're getting from those issues, because I know I've been there and I hated it. That's why I did whatever I could. I invested thousands and thousands. I've probably spent over $150,000, $125,000 on my development being here on this world. Ever since 18. In the last 15 years, I've at least spent $125,000 because I see the value in what it's going to give me. It's going to upgrade my life, right? So I see that value. But what I'm really trying to say is that you have to realize that yes, the issue can be crazy bad. We're not downplaying that. But what we are simplifying is that everything that you're doing is a strategy based on out there and in here. What happens out there, you are reacting to, right? It's your own reality. We all see things differently. We all react differently. And right now, you are reacting to something. There'll be a trigger in your environment. It could be a boss, it could be your work, it could be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be a partner. These are all triggers, right? Everything which is happening on the outside is simply a trigger. And based on how you react to it, you may have an issue. So if you have anxiety about driving, you might be getting into the car or the thought of driving, and it will cause you on the inside to feel something, to think something, to believe something, and to act and react to that something. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because the more we understand it, the better we're going to be able to get the changes. So here's what I'm really saying. All the stuff out there you react to, the more you become conscious of the unconscious strategy that you've been running, because if you could change, you would have by now, then we are able to allow the unconscious to become conscious. That being said, we're able to dictate how we do what we do. Then the hypnosis, or my bigger programs that I sell, and I don't mind selling anything that I do because I give great value in everything that I sell. It's just my living, right? Just like how you sell yourself in your job. You want to get paid, you want to be able to have a roof over your head and all those things. That's just equal exchange of energy from your boss, the company, paying you for the great things that you do in your job, right? And that's the same thing for me. But the key is, if you're more conscious of your strategy, you are able to dictate what you're really doing. Okay, you are able to understand more about yourself rather than being just unconscious. When you start to be conscious of what's happening, you are able to realize, oh, okay, so right now, every time I see this or this happens in my life, I get this thought. Now, every time I get this thought, it's my job to focus maybe on what I want. Or every time I get this feeling from this thing on the outside world, say it's anxiety, it's my job to change my emotional state. How do I do that? Maybe I'll play some certain music which relaxes me or pumps me up. Or maybe I'll go ahead and have a glass of water or get some fresh air. I mean, there's many things you can do, and these are more just dealing with the situation right now. I mean, of course, over time you'll start to reprogram yourself, but the more you become conscious of what's happening, the more you're able to dictate what is happening and therefore the results that you're getting. Does that make sense? If that is making sense, I really think you're going to go far with this. Now, to be able to make things easier for you, I've got 2 things. Now, depending when you're watching this, one of those things may have disappeared for good. In fact, maybe 2. Who knows what happens in the future, right? But the 2 things that you can do right now are get my 7-day kickstart transformation. All you have to do is go to josephclough.info/claim. It means you're claiming this free 7-day video course. Now, if you're not going to listen to it every day it's released, don't go ahead and do it. You're not going to make the changes if you do it here or there, this week, next week. This is about those who are committed, and you have to do it every single day. So even if you think, I've got a really crazy time right now, I'm just not going to do it until, say, the 5th of December or something. Great, do it then. Don't do it if you're not going to do it right. Don't play the game if you're not willing to play the game and go out and do the work. It's one of the biggest things which I realize why people don't get the results is always down to, most of the time, they're not doing the work. You can give someone every strategy on earth, but if they're not going to absorb it and do exactly what happens, then they're not doing the work. So make sure if you're doing this, you are listening to it each and every day, okay, for 7 days. So like 15 minutes each video. Pretty simple and easy, right? Now, the other thing you can go ahead and do is go to josephclough.info/sale, SALE, right? Now, if you want to get access to my super awesome sales I'm doing, and it's only going on until, I think it's the 1st of December. So go to josephclough.info/sale. That will be able to give you a greater connection with me, where you can actually, in some of those programs, you will be getting a custom hypnosis track from me. When I say your name, deal with your issues, I get to install all the things that you want in a custom hypnosis track. Really profound stuff. Other things are like my mind mastery program, or my confidence program, my anxiety program, my happiness program, and even my big ticket item, which is where you get to hang out with me for 4 days, 3 times a year, as well as get Voxer coaching. You get everything that I do. You get group calls twice a month, everything. And more important, like I said, you get the custom tracks. You get to hang out with me for 8 days a year, so I get to work with you. Oh, and also you get, I believe, 6 coaching sessions with that. So yeah, it's a big ticket, and it's only for the right people. In fact, I only limit it to 6 people. So if that's of value to you, go to josephclough.info/sale or go to josephclough.info/claim. And I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Many thanks and goodbye.